Hi, and welcome to Worm Watts, where we harness the God-given power of compost worms to transform organic waste into amazing living fertilizer. Now today, I am back in one of our most interesting bins, and this is our leaf litter bin that I originally was going to call Autumn. I was actually going to call it Autumn Upcycled, but at this point I think I'll call it Autumn Unleashed because it has provided some very interesting adventures here, to say the least. This is a bin where last time we were in here, we saw ants really going to town and giving us quite a surprise. And so since then, I do want to update you that I have drilled some ventilation holes, which has been kind of one of my new new findings for improving my worm bins. And so I can actually see, I didn't open this bin when I drilled the holes, and I can see that in the process of doing so, the drill must have caught this jute bag because it's all twisted up. So you're getting to see it just as I do. I'm going to try to unwind that a little bit. This jute bag actually was where the ants, when we saw them last time, had their headquarters, really, if you will. We saw quite a concentration of ants in here. And to be quite honest, as I open this up, I'm not seeing any ants in the bin, which is rather surprising. For those of you who are following, this is week 5 of our football season worm challenge. So the idea was to get an idea of how much a worm bin is going to change over the course of a football season. And there are so many things that do happen over the course of that length of time. And I just thought it would be a neat way for us to consider it. So I'm just digging through this bin. Oh, finally we got some ants. I just saw one that crawled down this area over here. So it does seem like the ants are still in the bin. Maybe they have found a new headquarters. I'm not sure. Here's an ant right here. Appears to be on its way to do something. Let's see if we can find any worms in this bin. I think that the leaf litter appears to kind of have settled down a little bit. It doesn't seem to be quite as high up as far as height goes. Oh wow, look at this. Appears to be a cockroach in there. Didn't expect to see that. It was a small little roach from the looks of it. But all kinds of stuff lives in leaf litter, so this has been a very eye-opening bin for me especially. And this is a very untraditional worm bin. Oftentimes, all right, so yeah, we're digging in here and just trying to see if we can find any worms in here. Actually, that looks like a worm right there. Let me zoom in and see if I can show you. It's a little bit concerning because I'm not really seeing any movement out of it. But right there at the tip of my finger appears to be a worm. Nope. Trying to see if I can pull it out of there. I think that was a worm. Let me zoom back out. No idea. Okay, wow, down here is much more moist. I'm very glad that we didn't really add a lot of water in to the bin last time. There goes that roach. It's right here at the tip of this. Good gosh. Not a creature I'm really too happy to see in the bin, to be quite honest, so I've actually just gone ahead and removed it. There we go. There's a worm in the corner. Let's see if I can capture it for you. It's right in the corner there. Probably gonna retreat from the light. But we do have worms in here. Down toward the bottom it's kind of mucky. But yeah. It's kind of the leaf litter seems a little bit compacted, to be quite honest, which tends to happen. The leaves kind of tend to pack together when they're not, or when they get moist. So definitely seeing that here. In the middle areas, like before you get to the bottom of the bin, it's not quite so bad. But right at the bottom, it's very wet and a little bit more compacted. And for what it's worth, we are seeing quite a lot of isopods in here. So this, again, if anybody's interested in raising isopods, we just basically took some leaf litter from bags that people in the neighborhood put out as garbage, and then I actually transferred the leaves from the plastic garbage bags into jute sacks like this one here that are somewhat breathable. And so, actually they're quite breathable. So after putting the leaves in there, I set that out and just basically left it exposed to the elements, which meant it went through several cycles of rain and drying out. Oh, look here. On the bottom of this, if you can kind of see those white thread-like things, looks like we have some mycelium. Or those would actually they look like fungal hyphae, which are basically fungal strands. And so a mycelium is actually a group of those hyphae together. But it looks like we have some fungal growth there, which is really good. Glad to see that in the bin. This, again, the original design of this bin was to be fungal dominant by feeding only leaves and leaf litter. And looks like that's being accomplished, which is encouraging. But yeah, it's definitely been a fantastic environment for the isopods. And interestingly enough, the ants, I'm not really seeing them here today. So outside of the one or two that we spotted, the rest of them seem to be tucked away somewhere else. So maybe I'll run into them. I'm not trying to stir them up, but it would be interesting to see who's in the bin today. And oh, hey, there's a worm right by my finger here. You can kind of see it trying to crawl away. Actually, there's another one right there. So look at that. Right in this area. Nice, healthy looking worm. I'm really happy to see that. And just encouraging to see what's going on in this in this bin. So at some point soon, because of the amount of compaction that occurs with the leaves, and even without adding moisture, they're just getting a little bit more compact. Over time, I'll probably add a little bit more leaf litter, just dry leaf litter, to the bin to promote a fluffier kind of space for the worms to be able to navigate through. But so far, so good. I'm really excited about where things are. The worms seem to be making themselves somewhat at home. Look at all of these. Look at all of these sow bugs. They're just having a field day together, gathering up all over the bin. And they also aid in the breakdown of this material, as do the earwigs that are in here. If you've spotted those in any of our journeyings. But I hope the air holes are aiding things. And it doesn't look like our creatures are trying to escape, but they are climbing and having a little bit more difficulty getting to the top of the bin, which is interesting. One of the things that I heard actually is that if your bin is too wet, which can happen if you don't have sufficient airflow, then you can find that creatures find it a lot easier to escape your bin because there is so much moisture and condensation. And actually, look at this ant here. Right there. A lone ant. To be quite honest, usually when you see one ant, there are many more. So I feel like this is just a sign that the ants are still here somewhere. And this week we seem to have avoided running into them in mass, but they're probably busy doing something. So just fascinating, honestly, to watch this bin and to explore it. And I'm so glad that we persisted with the worm bin the football season worm challenge, because to be quite honest with you, after the last check-in here in week 3, I did heavily consider removing this bin from the challenge, but the ants this time seem to have kind of calmed down, and I hope that maybe we'll be able to focus on the other critters in this bin moving forward. So I did not add anything to the bin to dissuade the ants from staying here, and I have not seen any ants exiting the bin or anything like that since we checked in last time. So not sure what's going on. Not sure if this is like a seasonal kind of seasonal change for them as the temperatures drop a little bit. We're still in the low 80s here, but yeah, it's interesting to see what's becoming of the bin, and look forward to checking in with you in a couple weeks. So that's it from the Autumn Unleashed bin in week 5. So we'll catch you next time in week 7. That's it from Autumn Unleashed.